Not for the first time on this channel I say, Swindon Town are a bit of a mess right now. Last time I spoke those words it was under the dark days of the League Power ownership before the current owner Glenn Morphuni came into the club. Since 2020 the club has had, not including caretaker managers, 7 permanent first team managers, starting with Richie Wellens, who was appointed in 2018 but sacked in 2020, so we're going to count him as manager numero uno. Then the abysmal reign of John Sheridan, who couldn't manage a in a brewery. Then John McGreal, who, to be fair, never managed a single game for the club, as he was appointed by League Power and dismissed as soon as the ownership changed hands. Ben Garner, who led the club to the League 2 playoffs, so not a bad season in charge. He left for Charlton Athletic after only one season. He's now at Colchester United. Garner's assistant, Scott Lindsay, who was okay, but maybe was starting to lose a bit of steam when he left for Crawley Town, and we can only summarise that he was jumped before he was pushed. The god-awful Jody Morris, the warning signs were there on him as he followed Frank Lampard's career around as his assistant at both Derby County and Chelsea, and we know Lampard is a terrible manager. Then Michael Flynn, who's just been sacked by the club, with the team lying 15th at the time of recording in League 2 and sleepwalking into a relegation battle. So what the bloody hell is going on? Well, the job has been described by one podcaster as a, quote, terrible job, and at this point, as a Swindon supporter, it's very hard to disagree with that assessment. Let's look at the situation then. You've got a young team with a lot of inexperience who really keep making mistake after mistake, and a defence that is wholly incapable of playing at this level. And look at the Colchester and Crewe game. I'm sorry to say it, but in the second 45, they didn't want to be there. Also, the club lost 2 of their best players, both of which were on loan at the club, Dan Kemp and Jake Young, who were recalled by MK Dons and Bradford City, respectively. The style of Flynn also didn't help, because I know everyone wants entertaining football, but not every team is prime Barcelona. Expansive football just for the sake of it is a very easy way to get yourself relegated. And I know that may have been a boardroom decision to play that way, because Ben Garner played that way. They also wanted Jody Morris to play that way. It just hasn't worked for the last 2 managers. The injuries that piled up also didn't help Flynn's cause, with a relatively small squad anyway. Once notable names were absent, the team started to decline and lost all momentum from the start of the season, where they were in the top 3 of the league. Questions are also being asked of the owner, Glenn Morphuni, who was charged with breaking EFL rules for failing to disclose that he transferred 17.1% of the club's shares in September of 2022. The club and Morphuni await punishment for that. It appears another sad situation for a club that hasn't had much stability in the boardroom since Andrew Black was the man who bankrolled football's favourite fascist, Paolo Di Canio. God, I miss the days of Willie Carson as chairman and Andy King as manager. Well, if we don't get our act together, we better be banking on 2 teams worse than us in League 2. Otherwise, we'll have our first ever A420 derby not against Oxford United, but against Oxford City. That really would be a kick in the teeth now, wouldn't it?